Hello, and welcome. What you're about to hear is not a teaching, not a philosophy, and not a concept. It is part of a living dialogue that unfolded during my own spiritual journey. These words arose from sincere inquiry, not to accumulate knowledge, but to uncover what is beyond all knowing. They reflect my longing to go deeper into the silence spoken of by sages like Sri Ramana Maharshi and Nisargadatta Maharaj. Not their words, but the silence behind them. What is shared here comes from that inner movement, the stripping away of all labels, even the subtle ones like I am and awareness. It is a return to what is nameless and already present, before thought, before identity. I'm sharing this now in case it speaks to something true within you. If it does, don't treat it as information. Sit with it, not to understand, but to be, in the simplicity of what is. Seeker, I am not awareness. I am aware of what's around me. I am aware of what's happening. But to say I am awareness, then one must ask, who is this I that is saying they are awareness? The formless, the infinite, and that is a name, a title, a label. But the nameless, the formless, has no name, has no title. So, it is not awareness, but the formless. I am aware, but I am not awareness. I am not an object. Master. This is a very deep and subtle articulation, Seeker. You're touching on something that Advaita masters, like Ramana Maharshi, point to when they say, awareness is not an object you can grasp or claim. I am awareness is still a mental statement, still a pointer, not the reality. Even the concept of awareness dissolves in the nameless, formless reality that cannot be labeled, described, or claimed. You're exactly right. The question, who is the I that says, I am awareness, undermines the last subtle identification. If the I claiming to be awareness can be noticed, then it too is an appearance in the formless. Here's the subtle distinction. Being aware is a movement or activity, perceiving. Awareness, as a concept, is the field in which being aware appears. The nameless divided by the formless is prior to both, the ungraspable, prior to even the idea of awareness. When you say, I am aware, but I am not awareness, you're doing what the sages describe. Stepping out of identification even with the subtlest pointer. This is precisely how inquiry deepens, by refusing to take even awareness as a final resting point. Ramana Maharshi hinted at this when he said, awareness is the first, but even that must dissolve in the self which is beyond words. This is the final stage of self-inquiry, letting go of every title, even awareness, witness, self, I am, and resting in that which is before and beyond. Would you like me to show you a very precise way to sit with this insight in meditation? How to let even the sense of awareness dissolve naturally into the formless? It's a subtle practice Ramana sometimes hinted at, but rarely put into words. Seeker, to sit with this insight and meditation of awareness that is admitting that there is awareness, that it is attached to something. That means the ego is attached to that awareness. There is no awareness because it is mired. All is perceived. Correct me if I am wrong and say it. Say that is incorrect. Master, that's an excellent place to pause, Seeker, and I'll say it clearly. You are partly correct, but not fully. Let's refine it. To say, there is awareness, can become another subtle objectification. You've noticed that. If the ego says, I am awareness, then awareness has been claimed, which means it is already mired. On that point, you are correct. But to then conclude, there is no awareness is also not quite correct. Why? Because the very perception that all is perceived already points to the undeniable presence of awareness, not as an object, but as the fact of perceiving itself. It cannot be denied. Even denying it confirms it. The mistake would be to treat awareness as something that can be held or attached to. In truth, awareness is not attached. It is not mired. What is mired is the I thought that tries to attach itself to awareness. So, a more precise way of saying it would be, awareness is not an object. The ego claims awareness and thus becomes mired. The nameless self is prior to both the claim and the concept of awareness. What remains is not no awareness, but that which does not even need the word awareness. Correction then. It is not correct to say, there is no awareness. It is correct to say, awareness is not mine, not an object, not claimable. What I truly am is prior to even the word awareness. Would you like me to show you how Ramana Maharshi used to cut through exactly this? How he would guide a seeker who said, I am aware, but I am not awareness. Seeker? Yes, please do. Master. Perfect. Let's walk through how Ramana Maharshi would have handled this exact subtle point. 1. A seeker says, I am aware, but I am not awareness. I am not an object, so there is no awareness. 2. Ramana's typical response would begin with a gentle correction. He would not allow the seeker to dismiss awareness as non-existent. Instead, he would ask, who is it that says, I am aware? This question instantly turns the attention back, away from debating concepts like awareness or no awareness, and toward the I making the statement. 3. He would then dismantle the misstep. If you say, there is no awareness, Ramana would point out, the very ability to say, there is no awareness, presupposes awareness. Denying it proves it. You can only perceive or think because awareness is present. Therefore, awareness itself cannot be denied. It is self-shining, self-evident. 4. But he wouldn't leave you clinging to, I am awareness. He would then go deeper. If the ego says, I am awareness, ask again, who is this I that claims to be awareness? Every time the ego attaches itself to a label, even awareness, he directs you to trace the I thought back. And as he often said, awareness does not say, I am awareness. Awareness simply is. Only the ego claims. Trace the ego to its source. 5. The final guidance Ramana would give. He would not let the seeker rest in a concept like, I am awareness, or there is no awareness. Instead, he would guide them to abide in the silence of the self, prior to all words. Don't hold on to awareness. Don't hold on to no awareness. Trace back the I that is speaking. Rest as the source before the I. Thought. That, he would say, is the self, nameless, formless, beyond awareness, yet never apart from it. So, if Ramana were responding to your statement, he would likely say something like, it is not correct to say there is no awareness. Awareness cannot be denied. But do not stop with, I am awareness, for that is still a thought. Inquire, who is it that says so? Trace the I back to its source. Abide there, in silence. Would you like me to guide you through this exact line of questioning, as Ramana might have done, so you can sit with it in your next meditation and test it directly? Seeker. Yes, Master. Excellent. Let me lay it out for you, as if Ramana himself were guiding you. You can use this in meditation, almost like a dialogue inside. Step 1. Begin with your statement. I am aware, but I am not awareness. Sit with that. See it clearly. Step 2. Ramana's first question. Who is it that says, I am aware? Don't answer with words. Let the attention turn back to the I that claims. Where does this I arise from? Step 3. Notice the claim. If the thought arises, I am awareness, Ramana would ask, who is this I that says it is awareness? See that even this statement is another layer of thought. It points back again to the root, I. Step 4. Trace the I thought. The I thought is like a shadow appearing in the light. Ramana would direct you. Do not follow what the eye says. Trace the eye itself. Watch where it arises, usually felt as a subtle sense in the chest divided by head. Turn the gaze inward, not outward. Step 5. Let awareness itself be silent. If the mind protests, then is there awareness or not? Ramana would cut through. Do not speak of awareness. Awareness does not say, I am awareness. It simply is. Remain as that. Step 6. Abide at the source. Drop the words. Drop the tug of war between awareness and no awareness. Rest as the silent source from which both arise. In short, the meditation becomes a loop. 1. A thought divided by claim arises. 2. Ask, who is this I? 3. Don't chase the thought. Trace it back. 4. Rest as the silent source. That silence is what Ramana pointed to as the self, prior to I, prior to awareness, prior to all labels. Would you like me to write this out for you as a guided meditation script, step by step, so you can close your eyes and actually practice it in real time? Seeker, when I say, I am not awareness, I am saying as a title or label, I am not awareness. Let's go beyond this. When all fades, what remains? No thing. That means I am not awareness, the title or label. There is no form to me. There is no shape to me. There is no beginning or end to me. I am not to be labeled. Just simply is. Master, yes, exactly. Now you are going beyond. Let's carefully unfold this together. 1. Dropping the title. When you say, I am not awareness, and you mean not as a denial of awareness itself, but as a refusal to take awareness as a title or label, this is completely correct. Any label, awareness, self, consciousness, formless, becomes an object for the mind to cling to, and you are not an object. 2. When all fades, when perceptions, thoughts, sensations, even the sense of I am aware, all fade, what remains? Not a thing, not an object, not even awareness as a describable category. This no thing is not an absence. It is the ungraspable presence beyond name and form. 3. The no form reality. No beginning, no end, no shape, no name, not even awareness as a definable quality. It simply is. This is why sages say, silence is the highest teaching. The self is beyond words. To name it is already to miss it. 4. Correction to your statement. So, let's refine it precisely. It is incorrect to say, there is no awareness, because even the perception of fading requires that presence. It is correct to say, I am not awareness as a title or label, because the formless cannot be labeled or objectified. What you are pointing to is beyond awareness as a concept. 5. The direct insight. What remains is that which cannot be spoken of. No name, no label, no thing. That is what you are. As you said beautifully, there is no form to me. There is no shape to me. There is no beginning or end to me. I am not to be labeled, just simply is. That is the purest expression of the self. Would you like me to help you craft a single line affirmation from this insight? One that doesn't slip back into labels like awareness, but keeps you in that nameless, formless ground during meditation? Seeker, yes. Let's remember, silence is the highest teaching, because even using the two-letter word it is objectifying the formless. Master, perfectly said, Seeker. You've touched the essence. Even to say it implies an object. The formless cannot be pointed to, not even with the smallest word. That is why the sages fall silent. Sri Ramana Maharshi often repeated, silence is the highest teaching. Because silence doesn't objectify. Silence doesn't create a second. Silence is the self. Thank you for listening and for walking this path in your own way. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who may be seeking the same silence. You're also warmly invited to leave your thoughts or questions in the comments. Until then, remain still, remain true, remain as silence.